Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Yay! Thank you so much for watching my last video. If you did, if you didn't, you can. It's lots of fun. It was a chit chat, get ready with me, summertime, glowy, bronzy, smoky, all the goodness. Today we're gonna switch it up. I told you this is a beauty and lifestyle channel. Hopefully the lighting is a little bit better. I'm sitting on the floor in front of a window that has a bunch of trees in front of it, so looks all right in the viewfinder. We all know I love looking in a viewfinder. But yeah, let me know if this is a little bit better. I don't know if I can do this for beauty setup, but whatever. But today we're gonna talk about weddings. I just got married like 3-4 weeks ago on June 14th, and it was amazing, and I planned it all myself with a lot of help from my two best friends. Like a lot of help. But it went really well. It went really smoothly, so I wanted to talk about a few things that I learned. Number one, this was like life-changing in terms of wedding planning. Download The Knot. It's an app. There's also a like desktop version of it. I used both, but mostly the app. It can help you find vendors. That's amazing. It can help you manage your guest list. And then my number one favorite thing that it did, this is my tip number 2, electronic RSVP. That's right, no extra stamps, because guess what? Stamps for 50, 100, 200 people gets expensive over postage. Could you not, USPS? So electronic RSVP was great. People could change it. I set up a deadline for my RSVP, so like a month before the event, people could not RSVP. Like, you snooze, you lose. I sent out my RSVPs pretty early, not early enough, but pretty early, like people had plenty of time. And then I also emailed them to be like, hey, sup, you coming or nah? And then people could still change it after the fact of like, oh, we RSVP'd, but then Paul McCartney was playing on the same day that I was getting married. How dare he? So a couple people chose Paul McCartney, which I understand. But they were able to go in and change that. Whereas if it was a paper RSVP, I would have been stuck with a yes when it was actually like 3 or 4 no's. So I was very thankful for that. Tip number 3. You can also do this through The Knot, but doing an electronic registry, we did ours through Amazon, and then we did a honeymoon fund as well, but I'll talk about that in a second. But Amazon's registry was awesome. There were a couple times, you know, millennial problems. We moved between the time I started my registry and we got married. So Amazon was actually great. A couple gifts were delivered to my old address, and Amazon was like, oh, no problem, we got you. My only tip on that is try to register for things that are sold directly through Amazon rather than a third-party seller, because we had an item that was bought for us, sent to our old apartment, our old house, and then they wouldn't refund or send a new one because it was a third party. So Amazon was like, okay, whatever. So they took the hit for us and just refunded my guest, and then like put it back on our register. So it was really great, except for that one detail. The only weird thing about it is that Amazon sends you an email saying like, hey, somebody bought something off your registry. It doesn't really tell you who. It doesn't really tell you what. You have to go into like your thank you card page so you can send thank yous, and then it tells you, but it doesn't give you any tracking, any shipping. So there were a couple times that I got the email that it was ordered and that it was shipped, but it wouldn't tell me if it was being shipped directly to me or to the guest. So I was a little worried on that. But again, they have a dedicated registry line, which was amazing to not have to go through the actual like Amazon help desk situation. I just called them and I was like, hey, I have a registry question. They were like, oh cool, we'll transfer you. And I talked directly to people who understood what a registry was. So that was super helpful. piggybacking on that, we also did a honeymoon fund through the Knot, not through Amazon, and that was a good experience. We had a couple people gift to that, but we didn't actually use it that much because we did our honeymoon at Disney World and it was amazing. Highly recommend. It was great. So we actually just put on the honeymoon fund, like in the description, like, hey, if you want, you can send us Disney gift cards, because Disney gift cards pay for everything at Disney. And that was actually better because the honeymoon funds charge a credit card transaction fee to your guest. There's no way for you, the host, to eat that fee or have it be take out of the donation. Like, so if somebody wants to gift you $40, they're actually gifting you $40 and then paying $250. So it's $42.50 coming out of their account, which I don't know why it didn't really sit with me that well. I mean, it's fine. You can also try, I know Lola has a honeymoon fund as well. I don't know if theirs is any different. Number 4, we did our flowers through Costco, which is a little unusual, I suppose, but it was amazing. Costco flowers were so much cheaper. We had, I think, 8 like centerpieces, and then my bouquet, and then I didn't have bouquets for my bridesmaids for a couple reasons, but whatever. And then we made boutonnieres out of all that. They do have a wedding package. Okay, I can't remember what all's in it, but it was a really good deal, and they had a couple different variances. They're all generally neutral, and my wedding was really neutral anyway, so it fit with our style. If what they have doesn't fit your style, just buy the bulk flowers. Either way, they will deliver it to your venue or to your house or to your mom's house or whoever, which was super great to just have them be delivered to my house. And then I had a bunch of people come over and we just assembled them all. Going on with florals, this has nothing to do with Costco, but we only had an hour-ish to really set up our venue, which was really tight. And during that hour, I was gonna be doing first looks, so I was not able to really help with the setup. And so I had some friends and family that were gonna set up. What I did to make that easier, this is just like a bonus tip, was I assembled the centerpieces, wrapped them in floral wire, or you can use tape or string or whatever, and so that they were grouped generally how I wanted them. And then the vases were at the venue. I know that's not necessarily typical, but it was really helpful for us. And then I set up a fake table spread at my house. So we had table runners. We had black tablecloths, but my dining room table is black. So I just set up my dining room table as I wanted the tables at my reception. And then I took a picture, sent that to my sister-in-law, who I had in charge of like setting up all that. It was really easy. I think me, my matron of honor, and then a friend, we set up all of our florals. We just like did a factory line and we probably took maybe 2 hours to just set them all up. Super easy, highly recommend. Saved us a ton of money. Like, I think Costco was maybe half the cost of doing it through a local florist. And I don't really care about flowers. Like, they're pretty, but I just wanted roses and some greenery. I'm really simple. So it didn't seem worth it to me to pay $1,000 for flowers that I wasn't even gonna get to see for more than 15 minutes. So I think our flowers were total like maybe $300. And our wedding was like 60 people, so take that as you will, but super easy, loved it. My 5th tip is go to a bridal convention. Take your bridesmaids. I took my now husband, take your mom, take whoever, and go. I think we maybe paid $12 a ticket to go. Make a fake email account. Like, if I were doing it, I would do like emilywedding@gmail.com. Don't use your actual email, because I am still getting email blasts and I've been married already. But I made my dress shopping appointments at the convention. I booked my photographer at the convention, which was great because I got to meet her face to face if you're in the Dallas area. Leah with The Click is incredible. I'll link her down below. I haven't gotten my pictures back yet, but just working with her was so great because she's such a bubbly personality but calm, and so having her there with like really intimate moments, like she's in your face basically, like when you're getting ready and when you're doing your first dance. And it was really helpful to have somebody who I kind of clicked with. The Click. So it was nice going to the convention, meeting her, and then I was able to get multiple quotes at once. So I went to her, I was like, hey, I really want to book you, but these people are charging like $200 less. And she was like, okay, fine, I'll meet it. So that was really great. Like, I didn't want to be haggling, but I did. Whatever, we were on a pretty tight budget, so we had to do what we had to do. But I highly recommend her if you're in the area. Please go with her. I also booked my DJ at the convention. We used DJ Connection, and they're local out of Oklahoma actually. But they were great. If you are in Dallas, recommend Tandy. He's also amazing. He like brought me and my husband a beer and a glass of wine at like right after the ceremony. We were doing pictures, and he just like walked up, he was like, here you go, and I was like, thanks bro. And he was like feeding me water all night because I did not leave the dance floor, and I made that very clear to everybody. Like, if you want to talk to me, you better meet me on the dance floor, and you better be boogieing while you talk to me. I paid a lot of money for this DJ. This is what I was looking forward to, you know. So he like honored that request, and he was like, girl, drink some water, drink some water, drink some water, because people kept bringing me wine, which was great. But then he was like, I got you, I got you. Highly recommend Tandy and Leah. They made my wedding. I mean, my husband did too, but oh, but the bridal convention is great to meet a bunch of different people. You get a lot of free swag. I got an ice scraper. I live in Dallas. I'm not going to use an ice scraper more than once every 2 years, but it's in my car. It was great. I got a lot of ring pops too, because wedding people love kitschy things. But it was fun. It's cheesy fun goodness. And then it's also an experience to just like, if you don't know what you want, it's all there. So it was just like a one-stop shop. Book. You get a lot of discounts, a lot of like, people take off a certain amount of money if you book right there, whatever. And I took my husband, so people were like, ooh, you brought the groom? Good for you. That's awesome. He gets brownie points. Here, have extra swag. Oh, you're so great. They were just fawning over him because he was like one man in a sea of 1,000 women in veils. There's that. Number 6 is something that is gonna tell you guys what a nerd I am. I made a wedding binder. It has a lot of personal information in it, so I'm not going to show you too much, but I kept everything in here. I kept a list of to-dos. I printed out like a Google Calendar, just like keep track of when things are due, because like my venue had like 6 payments and I wasn't going to remember when all those were due. So it was nice to just like write things down. If you have meetings, if you have tastings, whatever, it was nice to just be able to mark all that down. Put your contracts in your binder, keep them all together. If you want to scan them and have them in your phone as well, I think that would be great. I didn't do that. But put them in your binder, put your contacts in your binder, highlight your contact person and contact information for that person. That was super helpful. And then I brought this with me on the day in case like somebody didn't show up. I could have somebody call my whatever. I mean, everybody was there. I only had 3 vendors that really needed to come to the place, but it was still nice to just have contact information there. My receipts for my gown, information for the tux. That's another story for another time. I also made like this little timeline that I just printed out. I think I googled wedding timeline, and it goes from like when you're first engaged, like a year out, to like the week of and the day of. So that was nice. I didn't use it that much. I used the knot more because they have a day of timeline that you can adjust, and then they also have like a full like to-do list from the time you get married. That was really helpful. So I used that over this. I also made a wedding emergency kit. I think I found one online and then just added to it. But that was really helpful the day before and the day of, to just go through this and check. I didn't use a lot of this stuff, but I knew that if I didn't bring it, I would need it. So, and like, it's stuff like straws. Your venue might have them, but what if they don't? And you're thirsty and you just put on lipstick, you know? Also, if y'all want a tutorial on how to do lipstick that'll stay on all day, comment down below. Woo! Paper in the back for notes. Like when I went to meetings, I could take notes. Questions. If I knew I was gonna have questions before the meeting, I wrote them down. That way, when they get to the point of the meeting where they're like, do you have any questions? Yes, I do. Number 7, a coordinator. We did not hire a wedding planner. We did have a venue coordinator. If you're not sure what the difference is, basically the wedding planner works for you and the venue coordinator works for the venue. So a venue coordinator is not gonna like plan your wedding for you. They're not. I follow a girl on YouTube and Instagram. Her name is Jamie Wolfer. I will also link her down below. She is a wedding planner in California and she makes really helpful videos. If you're planning a wedding, please look her up. She goes over everything from like who to tip and how much, how to start a budget, how to hire a wedding planner, why you should hire a wedding planner. You know, like she is a wedding planner, so of course she's biased, but she's very honest of just like, if your budget is $6,000, maybe don't get a planner. That's valid. We did not hire a planner. We did have a venue coordinator, and that was helpful for like directing us like who's gonna walk down when, and like, you know, getting the food set up. And then my DJ and my photographer really coordinated a lot during the day of, like maybe more than the venue coordinator. I think they'd all work together, so they just kind of knew how it needed to fly. It was great. If you're having a big wedding and you can afford it, I would highly recommend getting a wedding planner. I planned the wedding almost by myself. Again, like my bridesmaids helped out so much. And I wasn't stressed until the week of, and like the week before a little bit, but the week of, because I did a lot of DIYs and I'm not a DIY person. I'm really not. I can, but it's not my strong suit. So it's a lot to coordinate when you're doing 5 DIYs in 3 days for 60 people. So a wedding planner can help you navigate through those, navigate all throughout the whole process. If wedding planning just stresses you out, hire a planner. This is, you know, a year, year and a half, 2 years of your life that is special, and you're not going to get this time back. You should enjoy it. If you start to feel stressed planning your wedding, take a step back. And I'll get into that a little bit more. Okay, DIYs. Be reasonable. Okay, story time. We were gonna pick a venue that is completely DIY. It's run through the city of Dallas, it's on the lake, it's beautiful, but they don't do anything. They don't clean up, they don't sweep, they don't do anything. They don't have tables. You have to source your tables, your chairs, your linens, your plates, silverware. You have to have security there, which is good. You should have security at your wedding, especially if there's alcohol, but it was just too much. And then DIYing everything else to make it pretty, no, that was not reasonable for us. So we decided to just pay extra and for the convenience, and that's a choice you're gonna have to make. If you're on a really tight budget, you can still make your wedding beautiful and magical and wonderful. You're just gonna have to DIY a lot. Plan ahead, recruit people, delegate tasks. Remember that DIYs cost money. So just because you're DIYing something doesn't mean that it's gonna be free. It's not. If it is, and you have some magic hookup and you own all of the Michaels stores, which why would you be DIYing for budget reasons, but whatever. Like, just be reasonable. Don't stress yourself out. If you love DIYing things, go for it. Live your dreams. I support you. But like I said, I DIY'd programs, streamers, florals, something else, signs, guest book, card box, and a couple other things like 3 days before my wedding. That was a lot. I was very stressed. And then still trying to get enough sleep so that I didn't look haggard on my wedding day. Just be reasonable, stay true to yourself, you know. Oh, think about who is gonna set things up and who is gonna tear things down. You really don't wanna be doing it on your wedding day, okay? The bride and groom should not be in charge of setup and tear down. You're gonna be too busy. You're gonna be busy taking pictures, you're gonna be busy going off for your grand exit, whatever. Delegate people. And have specifically, like, at this time, this person is gonna do this task. Timeline, I made a full itinerary for people so people would know where to be and when, and then like over communicate, whatever. But also remember, like, these are your wedding guests. Do you want them to have that experience, or do you want them to just enjoy themselves? And that was the struggle for us. In the end, we decided that for the most part we wanted people to just enjoy themselves, but some people did volunteer, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna take your help, definitely. Number 9, this is just a really fun one. I made a Spotify playlist for my wedding of like songs that remind me of my husband, songs that remind me of weddings, whatever, and I made it on Spotify, and I would listen to it, and it just made me really happy and made me all gushy throughout our engagement. And then when it came time to pick songs for my DJ, I already had a playlist and it was ready to go. I also had a bachelorette playlist. That was pretty much it. Yes, and so it's just silly and fun, but like driving to work and then listening to, you know, Wedding Bell Blues, I'm just like, oh yeah, oh yeah. I won't sing it because copyright, but it's fun, it's sweet. Those songs will always remind me of being engaged. Okay, number 10, mindset. Don't be a bridezilla. Just don't. Please don't be a bridezilla. My bridesmaids got mad at me because I refused to be a bridezilla. Like, things would come up or I would need to make choices and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. And that's my personality. But like, some people go the opposite end of the spectrum and they want rainbow colored birds to fly out of a hot air balloon as they have their first dance. So I'm like, your budget's $3,000. No. So stay true to yourself, and if there's something you care about and something that you want, that's great. I support you. But don't be like that with every detail. Every detail should not be the end all be all. Like, care about your dress, care about your photographer, care about your first dance, and whatever else that really matters to you. But if it's something else, like, let it slide. Remember what's important, and that's marrying your person. That is joining legally, spiritually, emotionally to another person to vow to honor and cherish for the rest of your life. Not what kind of cake you have. Not the wrong colored roses. Not baby's breath. Like, that stuff doesn't matter. So don't be a bridezilla, but stay true to yourself. And then lastly, things will go wrong. Your wedding day will not be perfect. Just prepare yourself. Prepare yourself now. Prepare yourself the moment he puts that ring on your finger that something is gonna go wrong. And then when it does go wrong, you'll be like, yeah, all right, it was that thing? All right, cool. I don't think much went wrong on the day of. The fake eyelashes I was gonna wear didn't work and I took them off and had to redo my eyeliner, but that's easy. We were running late to the venue and our photographer beat us there. My dogs got to the venue before we did. But again, it was fine. Like, people adjusted and it was fine. Yeah, so we didn't really have anything go wrong, but I think that's because I prepared myself and I was like, it's not gonna be perfect. It's just gonna be a struggle, and that's fine. And so I was prepared that, like, I don't know. The only thing I didn't want to happen was I didn't want it to rain. That was my only thing, and it didn't. Those are my 10 wedding planning tips. Some of them are really simple and some of them are absolute game changers for me. But if y'all want more wedding related content, let me know down below. Also, I have started some social media accounts for this channel. On Instagram, it's Emily Funbun, and on Twitter, it's @EmilyFunbun. So follow me both of those places. I will be glad to talk to you and hang out with you online, or real life if you're my real friend. Subscribe down below. That will basically keep you up to date if I post a new video, which I plan to. And then next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell icon. If you click that or tap that on your phone, whatever, tap that all on the flow, tap that all on the phone. Yeah, so if you hit the bell, you will be notified every time I post a video. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you're getting married, congratulations. It's a really fun time. Marriage is wonderful. If you're not getting married and you watch this anyways, high five. I love you. Cool. Thanks guys. Have a good day.